Did you know that most business owners are only getting about $3,000 to $5,000 with credit card approvals? It's crazy that nobody's talking about this, but the reason is that most people are not getting the limits that they want is that they don't take the time to properly build out their credit profile. So in this video, I'm really going to show you guys how to properly build out your credit profile so you guys can be able to walk into a bank, get hundreds of thousands of dollars in business credit, and also be able to have the credit profile that the banks love to give money to. Let's go ahead and get into this video right now. What's poppin', guys? Your boy All Boo. I'm back here with another banger. And if you guys haven't done so already, make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe. Get your boy to that 10K. Yes, your boy's on the road to 10K. Trying to get 10K as soon as possible. So in this video, I'm actually talking about building a strong credit profile. No, not a strong business credit profile, but an actual strong personal credit profile. And you might be asking yourself, like, wait, am I trying to get like business credit or something like that? So why do I need a strong personal credit profile? So it's real simple, guys. Regardless of what you're seeing on Instagram, what your favorite influencers preaching, at the end of the day, banks don't just give out high limit credit cards like candy. They really want to be able to make sure that they're lending it out to a business that actually is a low risk and also has a good owner that has good personal credit. So the main things that banks look at in order to be able to know if they're going to fund a business is, one, they're looking at the business age. How long has the business been established? And second, they're looking at the profitability. How much are you currently making every single year, year in and year out? And the third and last thing is that they're looking at the owner's credit. How strong is the credit profile of the person running the business, depending on how strong it is or how weak it is. So these are the three main things that banks are going to be looking at. Now, if you guys have a business that's been established for 10 years and you have great profitability, you're really making about $500,000 or more, then the owner's credit is not going to matter as much, right? The higher the first two are, the lower of importance they're actually going to care about as far as the owner. The reason is because the banks want to be able to lend to low risk businesses, right? So if they realize that this business has been able to run for these many years for so long without the owner's involvement, then they know that they're most likely going to get their money back. That's why they'll gladly go ahead and lend to a business that has more age and also more profitability, because they know that the owner's credit does not matter as much, because they'll just go ahead and simply put a business lien if anything does happen. But if you're honestly just starting off, right, and you have about less than 2 years of business history, the bank wants to see your actual personal credit profile, because they want to know that if anything does happen to the actual business, that they'll be actually able to come after you and reap their money back. So if you go ahead and default on a business credit card, what they'll simply do is go ahead and put on your personal credit, and that way they can be able to mitigate their losses. So one of the common mistakes that I often see with people that are applying for business credit is that they often rush the process. Most people think that they can go ahead and just simply apply for business credit with only a couple of different accounts or a very thin credit file. Now, don't get me wrong, you could definitely go ahead and walk into the bank and apply for a business credit card, but you're never going to get the high limits that you want if you don't take the time to properly build out your credit profile. So the thing with credit, right, everything on your credit has to be intentional, right? From the credit cards you're applying for the cars that you're applying for, every payment has to be accounted. Everything has to be very, very intentional, because the more intentional and the more properly built out your credit profile is, the better your odds of being able to optimize it and get exactly what you want. You should think of your personal credit report as your actual adult report card. So everything has to be very, very intentional. So if I was going ahead and actually trying to go ahead and apply for business credit, I would honestly make sure to take my time so you guys can be able to get a super high limit, especially on the business side. So whatever you guys have on the personal side, they'll more than likely go ahead and double or even triple it on the business side. So here's the exact blueprint I would actually follow in order to be able to get $100,000 of business credit. So what you guys need to have on your personal credit report is you need to have at least 2 to 3 credit cards that have at least guys, $3,500 limits. If you guys don't have that, they're most likely not going to get very high approvals as far as on the business side. Because remember, everything that you guys are doing on the business side is going to be a reflection of your personal side, especially if you guys are starting off brand new in business. You guys don't have much income to go ahead and prove. So that's why they factor in your personal credit a lot more compared to if you had an older business. So with that being said, you want to have 2 to 3 credit cards that have at least a $3,500 limit. And I highly recommend that you guys have had those credit cards for at least 8 months with solid payment history. Especially if you guys are trying to get approved for high limit credit cards, the bank does not want to see any type of late payments any type of missed payments whatsoever. Payment history has to be 100%. Now with utilization, you guys can get by with the below 30% utilization, but if you want to be able to get the optimal funding for a business, I would highly recommend you have 10% or lower utilization. The lower you guys are utilizing your credit cards, the better off you're going to be, and the more likely the banks will go ahead and actually lend you guys money. So going off of that, you definitely don't want to have any type of negative items as well. You don't want to have a collection. You don't want to have a charge off. You definitely don't want to have any type of derogatory marks. So that's going to be able to increase your chances. Now, the last thing I would highly recommend you guys have is to have minimal hard inquiries. You should only have 2 to 3 hard inquiries max. That's especially if you guys want to be able to get $100,000 worth of business funding. So definitely make sure you guys have the bare minimum of hard inquiries. So if you guys have a properly built out credit profile, the banks will love you guys. And whenever you guys walk in, you'll be able to walk out with a high limit credit card. So I get it, guys, especially if you're a business owner and you want to be able to get approved for high limits off the bat. The reason I stress to properly build it out, so the benefits of having patience, guys, and honestly properly building out your personal credit file is that you guys will be able to get approved for high limits off the bat. Let's say you go ahead and rush the process, right? You go ahead and apply for a business credit card with a very thin credit file. Let's say you have about 2 to 3 accounts, right? So if you go ahead and do that, what you're most likely going to get is a very low limit. So you'll probably get around $3,000 to $5,000 credit limits, right? Now, trust me, guys, I definitely get it. You being a business owner, right? You're very eager in order to be able to get your first credit card. However, being able to be patient by building out your credit profile properly is really going to be able to pay off a lot more, because think about it. Let's say you go ahead and actually rush the process, right? If you go ahead and rush the process, let's say you go ahead and apply for a business credit card and you get a $3,000 limit. The time it'll take for you guys to be able to go from a $3,000 limit all the way to a $30,000 limit is going to be a bare minimum of at least 2 years. And that's on the minimum side. So as far as you guys being able to properly build out your credit profile, you can literally spend 6 to 8 months building it out and then get approved for $30,000 to $50,000 credit limits. So that's exactly what I mean as far as being able to be patient and building it out properly. Because if you guys go ahead and rush the process, you can do that for sure, but it's going to hurt you guys more in the long run than it will really help you guys. So with the most part, make sure you guys properly build out your credit profile, because I hear a lot of different noise as far as on the internet, and they used to say, oh, go ahead and apply for a business credit card right away. You don't have a properly built out credit profile? Cool, no problem at all. Go ahead and actually apply right now. At the end of the day, guys, that's not true whatsoever. So anybody who really knows credit is always going to be able to tell you guys that age is always going to trump credit limits or any of that. So what I mean by that is that the older your credit profile is and the stronger it is, the more likely you'll be able to get approved for high limits, compared to if you go ahead and just put on some trade lines with $5,000, $10,000. That's not necessarily going to get you guys those high limits that you guys want. So just make sure you guys go ahead and take the time. Trust me, it's all worth it in the end. And even though you're not getting approved right now, you'll be able to go ahead and get approved for higher limits if you guys take the time to build it out properly. So I really hope this video was helpful. Like always, man, I really appreciate you guys for watching. Now, if you didn't already do so, man, go ahead and make sure you guys subscribe and tap the notifications below. Get your boy to that 10K, man. Trying to get to 10K. So go ahead and actually get a 10K. And just for a subscription, I'm going to go ahead and include my free ebook down below. So definitely make sure you guys grab that on how you guys can be able to access 7 figures of funding. And so with that being said, I'm out, my boy. So like always, I'll see you at the top, my boy. Let's get it.